Part 34. Lord Survival, My Shelter in Crocodile Territory. Author, Chi Wen. Chapter 335. The assembly bell rang. Wang Shuo calmed down and led the coalition forces from Changping County towards the gathering place. During this expedition, Zhao Bang recruited a total of 200,000 troops, of which Shanghai City's troops accounted for a quarter. The main reason is that the armies of other lords have suffered too much damage in the battle, and many lords are no longer able to fight anymore and must go back to replenish their manpower. Zhao Bang decided to go to support Nangxuan Mansion first. The transmission efficiency of Shanghai City is much higher than that of the county town. Wang Shuo's Red Flame Army was arranged in the second wave. Soon it was the Red Flame Army's turn to teleport. Wang Shuo led the Hell Knights to the teleportation array first, and after a flash of white light, Wang Shuo and others appeared in Nangxuan Mansion. At this time, Nangxuan Mansion was already in the flames of war. Zhao Bang, the first batch of people sent over, had already discussed it with Zhu Dongheng, the governor of Nangxuan Mansion. The supporting troops will gradually take over the defense task of the South City Gate. Wang Shuo waited until the Red Flame Army and the coalition forces from Changping County were teleported over, and then he led everyone towards the defensive area. On the city wall, the skeleton attack force was not strong. But the bones piled up under the city showed that the previous battle was still very tragic. Opposite, the undead army is still gathering. They may also be waiting for reinforcements. In a small hall in Nangxuan Mansion, Zhu Dongheng and Zhao Bond were sitting at a small table. Governor Zhao, thank you so much this time. Between you and me, there is no need to be polite. Hey, now that Nangxuan Mansion is under siege, the situation is not optimistic. While the two were drinking tea and chatting, Fenglin County sent a message asking for help. Zhao Bond frowned. The governor of Fenglin County is called Baishuanzong. When the three of them met before, Baishuanzong was arrogant and did not take the two of them seriously. Therefore, Zhao Bondang did not choose to support Fenglin County. At this time, after receiving the message asking for help, both of them were a little embarrassed. If they mobilized their manpower, I am afraid that the undead army outside Nangxuan Mansion would immediately launch a general attack. The two discussed for a while and decided to send someone to check the situation. Zhao Bang called Ba Huoyao and Commander Ba in, intending to ask him to take people over to check it out. After Commander Beitong took the order, he had not yet stepped into the teleportation array. I heard the system prompt sound. Fenglin County was captured by the undead army, and Baishuanzong died in the battle. This message has been received by everyone. Humanity lost an important city. There were no remaining soldiers from Fenglin County teleported over from the teleportation array. Obviously, the teleportation array has been occupied by the undead first. I am afraid that most of the human soldiers in Fenglin County have become turtles in the urn, and I don't know how many of them can escape. Many lords couldn't help but worry about these hundreds of thousands of people. At this time, Fenglin County was shrouded in death aura. There was not a single living person in the entire city, corpses were everywhere, and rivers of blood flowed. The blood seeped into the ground and was absorbed by the altar of the undead outside the city. The altar of the undead outside the city underwent tremendous changes after absorbing enough blood. Haha! I finally came out. A black dragon was summoned from the altar. The Black Dragon King has completely abandoned the human body and transformed into a dragon form with teeth and claws. His whole body was shrouded in black death aura, and after a burst of wild laughter, the Black Dragon King landed. Beside the altar of the dead, Arifubal knelt on the ground and buried his head low. Please, Lord, punish me. It doesn't matter. I already know the battle process in Shanghai City. The power of the destroying souls of the undead formation is extraordinary. The battle is not your fault. A majestic voice came from the mouth of the Black Shadow Dragon. Although the main force of the burning legion was destroyed, there were still some remnants left, and given time, they could still be rebuilt. The battle in Fenglan County is over. We will set off immediately to Nangsuan Mansion. As long as we capture this place, my strength will be further improved. The Black Dragon King is confident. Lord Survival, my shelter in Crocodile Territory. Author, Chi Wen. Chapter 336. In this way, one day later, all the undead army was teleported outside Nangsuan Mansion through the altar. The main force of the siege was the Blood Legion and the Purple Flame Legion of the undead army, directed by the Black Dragon King himself. The elite main force has reached more than 800,000 people. Counting ordinary skeleton warriors, the total number exceeds 2 million, which is huge. But Bond Zhao still looked calm. Although there are many enemies, Zhao Bond has gained a new trump card, so this battle is still certain. The war drums beat, and the undead begin to attack. Having experienced previous battles to defend the city, Wang Shuo and others were already quite experienced. The generals at all levels in Wana town were well organized and commanded decisively. The defenders of Nangsuan Mansion repelled several attacks by the undead one after another. In the evening, both sides stopped fighting. The undead consumed tens of thousands of skeleton warriors, but did not break through the protective barrier of Nangsuan Mansion. The siege of the undead is different from the siege of human soldiers. It relies entirely on the large number of skeletons to charge in a swarm. Therefore, if the degree of brutality is very high, the casualties will naturally be much greater. On the second and third days, the same was true, and the entire battle entered a relatively relaxed stage. Obviously, the undead did not launch a violent attack. I don't know what the Black Dragon King is thinking. Is he also planning some big move, an attack similar to destroying the protective shield of Shanghai City? Wang Shuo was a little worried, but there was nothing he could do. In this way, the relatively peaceful attack lasted for nearly 10 days. On this day, the drums of the undead on the opposite side continued to beat. The senior officials of Nangsuan Mansion all felt something unusual. Zhao Bangde and Zhu Dongheng stood on the city gate tower, looking at the mobilization of the undead army, and their expressions became solemn. The mountain rain is about to come, and the death aura on the altars in all directions is so strong that it cannot be melted away. The Black Dragon King transformed into a giant dragon, flew into the air, controlled the death energy, and gathered it into a giant sword, hanging over Nangsuan Mansion. When Zhao Ban saw this, he took out the Sifang city prop without hesitation. He raised his right hand and gently threw the Sifang city into the air. The prop that looked like a small city continued to expand in the wind, and finally turned into a golden mask that overlapped with the entire city of Nangsuan Mansion. In an instant, the entire city seemed to be bathed in golden light. At this moment, the giant sword above the city shot straight into the sky, and after a few breaths, it fell from the sky again. This blow carried infinite power, and the color of the world changed. Everyone had their hearts in their throats and felt extremely uneasy. If the protective shield is broken, this battle will most likely be lost. Bang! A huge mushroom cloud rose, and the huge shock caused by the explosion caused countless human soldiers guarding the city to fall. The huge air wave spread to dozens of miles away. The skeleton warriors nearby were blown away dozens of meters. Even the two elites of the Undead Legion, who were standing 5 or 6 miles away, were unsteady and staggering. Wait until the explosion is over. The human soldiers were the first to burst into cheers. Countless soldiers were extremely excited and hugged each other to celebrate, as if they had won the battle. The Black Dragon King snorted coldly when he saw that Nangsuan Mansion's defense had not been destroyed. Humph! Attack! Although the defense is still there, the arrow is on the string and has to be fired. The soldiers on the city wall were still cheering. When they saw the undead starting to attack, their expression suddenly changed. The commanders began to shout loudly, Meet the enemy and fight. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Lord Survival, My Shelter in Crocodile Territory. Author, Chi Wen. Chapter 337. Wang Shuo also immediately took command. After the previous battle, the coalition forces of Changping County were more convinced of Wang Shuo. The coalition forces of Changping County were able to execute Wang Shuo's orders like the Red Flame Army. The attack of the undead began to become extremely fierce. Various huge undead beasts began to hit the city wall. Since the protective shield of the city wall was still there, the undead warriors had no way to step on the city wall in large numbers. Only a few undead skeletons with their own breakthrough energy shields could step on the city wall, but this was tantamount to a drop in the bucket, and there was no way to capture the city wall. In this way, the undead attacked for 2 hours, and except for leaving a large piece of white bones, they did not achieve any results. Human, dare to come out of the city and fight me. The true body of the Black Dragon King appeared outside the north gate. Wang Shuo also stood on the gate tower of the south gate and saw the Black Dragon body of the Black Dragon King. He was over 100 meters long, and except for the dragon head, the rest of his body was shrouded in death. It was unknown whether it was because he deliberately blocked it or because of some other reasons that his body could not be fully revealed. He roared loudly, and the sound covered the whole city. In the entire Nangsuan prefecture, the two county governors, Zhao Bangde and Zhu Dongheng, were naturally the most powerful at this time. Because Zhao Bangde took out the Sifang city to help Nangsuan prefecture resist the powerful attack just now. According to their agreement, Zhao Bangde was the most important in the human alliance. Zhao Bangde appeared at the south gate with Zhu Dongheng. How do you want to fight? Zhao Bangde's momentum was not inferior to the Black Dragon King. In order to reduce the killing, I will fight with you two county governors to determine the winner. The Black Dragon King hovered in the air, and his arrogance was very arrogant. Wang Shuo sneered in his heart. What a shameless person. The undead don't need living humans at all. He clearly felt that he couldn't capture the city, so he resorted to this bad idea. The Black Dragon King was at the level of a high-level general at this time, and there was almost no suspense in his single challenge against two mid-level generals. Moreover, his body was now condensed by death energy, and he was more adept at controlling death energy. Of course, not having a physical body also had its disadvantages, but it was undeniable that the Black Dragon King's combat power must be extremely powerful. Zhu Dongheng whispered to Zhao Bangde, Brother Zhao, you can't fight. The Black Dragon King is obviously provoking us. As long as we hold on, they have no way to deal with us. Zhao Bangde nodded and said, well, I won't take risks. Let's listen to what he says first. Black Dragon King, how do you want to fight? I won't bully you. If you don't dare to fight me, then I will send two commanders to fight you too. If you win, we will retreat immediately. If we win, you must surrender unconditionally. The words of the Black Dragon King made many lords fall into thinking. This cunning Black Dragon King is undoubtedly putting the two city lords on the fire. Damn it, it's killing people and destroying their hearts. If we lose, we will lose two of our strongest fighters. If we win, the other party will retreat, but even if they attack the city, they can't take it down. Our risk is still too high. No, they have 4 intermediate warriors and a senior warrior. What if the other party doesn't follow the moral principles of martial arts and rushes up at that time? What should our two city lords do? Just when everyone was arguing, Zhao Bangde said, it's okay to fight, but the place of the competition must be chosen by us. Okay, no problem. Then in Nangsuan Mansion, Black Dragon King, do you dare to come in and fight? Zhao Bangde said loudly and generously. Zhao County Governor, you are too insincere, the Black Dragon King roared and circled in the air. Lord Survival, My Shelter in Crocodile Territory. Author, Chi Wen. Chapter 338. Since you said I'm not sincere. Okay, then I'll show you the backbone of my human race. Black Dragon King, do you dare to accept me when I leave the city to fight? Zhao Bangde was righteous and awe-inspiring, looking like he was ready to die. Zhu Dongheng next to him was shocked. Brother Zhao, no. He spoke sincerely and had an anxious look on his face. It doesn't matter, I also want to try to see how powerful this senior warrior is. Zhao Bangde looked calm, but his eyes were firm. Chief, no. The 4 commanders of Shanghai City immediately knelt down and begged. Ha ha ha, okay, Commander Zhao, your courage deserves a high look from me. If there were more people like you before our Black Dragon City was destroyed, the original battle probably wouldn't have ended like this. After saying that, his eyes showed overwhelming hatred. Anna, sooner or later I will pay back 100-fold the pain I have endured for thousands of years. Zhao Bangde glanced at everyone and gave them a reassuring look. Then, regardless of everyone's dissuasion, he jumped off the more than 30-meter high city wall. Black Dragon King, I have already left the city, how about we fight here? Why not? The Black Dragon King relied on the strength of his senior general to deal with a small mid-level general, without any reason to be afraid. He circled in the air, then swooped down. Zhao Bangde frowned and frowned, holding his breath and waiting for the Black Dragon King to approach. He made fists with both hands, ready to go. When the dragon's head was about to approach, his legs suddenly exerted force, bent slightly, and then like an arrow from the string, he rushed towards the Black Dragon King in the sky. Wang Shuo was so excited that he didn't even dare to breathe. The huge gap in strength did not allow Zhao Bangde to give in at all, but instead fought back. It made countless soldiers feel tragic. The fist hit the dragon's head. Not only did it fail to repel the Black Dragon King, but Zhao Bangde was knocked away dozens of meters and hit the city wall directly. The mantis is trying to block the car, but he is overestimating his own abilities. The Black Dragon King looked at the overestimating Zhao Bangde and laughed wildly. Being able to kill the enemy's senior generals effortlessly is a huge profit no matter what. At the same time, Zhao Bangde's body was vomiting blood after hitting the city wall. He climbed up with difficulty, but a smile appeared on his face. He. After laughing a few times, he spat out another mouthful of blood. Why are you laughing? The Black Dragon King is a little confused. He immediately waved his 2 black claws, rushed over, grabbed Bangde Zhao, and was about to tear him in half. Zhao Bangde did not resist and struggle. Suddenly, the Black Dragon King's whole body began to tremble violently, and black energy overflowed from his body. He took advantage of the last bit of fierceness to tear Zhao Bangde into pieces, but there was no sight of blood and flesh flying everywhere as he had imagined. Zhao Bangde's body gradually blurred and disappeared. The Black Dragon King was in a state of madness and couldn't help but roll on the ground. It was obvious that he was feeling very uncomfortable at this time. Ah, what on earth did you do to me? The Black Dragon King roared wildly, causing sand and rocks to fly on the ground. Zhao Bangde's figure appeared in Nangsuanfu City. He came to the city gate tower again and said lightly, Black Dragon King, the taste of soul poison is not bad. Wang Shuo also breathed a sigh of relief, this is only reasonable. As the lord of a county, how could he not have any means of resurrection? But, what is the poison of the soul? Ah, a young man like you actually dares to plot against me. The Black Dragon King struggled to speak. Black Dragon King, you are never tired of deceit. There are no specific methods for war. Only then did everyone understand that Zhao Bangde had exchanged a chance for resurrection for the Black Dragon King's serious injury. Lord Survival, My Shelter in Crocodile Territory. Author, Chi Wen. Chapter 339. Humph, Zhao Junxiao, you are very good. I will remember today's revenge. The Black Dragon King struggled to fly high into the sky and returned to the base camp of the undead. Not long after, the undead retreated like the tide. This battle has come to a temporary end. Soon, human soldiers went out of the city and destroyed the altars that the undead had not had time to destroy. The war came to an end. The resurrection of the undead has officially ended. 3 months later, the Great Wall of Steel battlefield opened. Before everyone had time to cheer and celebrate, they were shocked by the Great Wall of Steel battlefield prompted by the system. At this time, apart from some lords in the north, only a few people such as the 2 county governors knew about the Great Wall of Steel. For a while, everyone looked at each other, at a loss. But no one stopped cleaning the battlefield. Wang Shuo did not contribute much in this battle, so the system reward can be ignored. Zhao Bangde, on the other hand, defeated the Black Dragon King by himself, forcing the undead to retreat temporarily, and received a lot of rewards. Half a day later, Zhao Bangde and Zhu Dongheng held a meeting with all the lords in the square of Nangsuanfu. Lords and mayors, thank you for working together for the sake of the human race and repelling the undead army together, but the future will not be better, because new enemies will appear in the northern Great Wall. The crowd below was in a commotion and whispered to each other. Zhao Bangde pressed his hand and continued, "At present, we need to recuperate. I suggest that everyone stop the civil war, stop wasting manpower, unite and form a new military alliance." As soon as this was said, the lords had different reactions. Some agreed, and some remained silent. Who doesn't want to be the boss? But after experiencing the strength of the county city warriors, the people present could only temporarily hide their unwillingness to be mediocre. Even though everyone can gather together peacefully now, it is not certain that someone will start a war against others after the meeting. Of course, in front of the undead and unknown enemies, this move will undoubtedly anger the public and is likely to be suppressed by the army of the county city. Some lords who had their own plans did not jump out to oppose at this time. If they were excluded from the alliance, it would be an even worse situation. Soon, under the call of Zhao Bangde, a new alliance was established, named Shanghai League. Zhao Bangde served as the leader and Zhu Dongheng as the deputy leader. All lords who joined the Shanghai League were not allowed to start a war against their allies within 3 months. If there were any disputes, they could be resolved within the alliance. If they were attacked by the undead, all allies must send troops to rescue and resist the undead. After the meeting, Wang Shuo was about to return to Wana town with his subordinates. At this time, Zhao Bangde found Wang Shuo. "Leader Zhao, what's the matter?" Wang Shuo bowed respectfully. "Let's talk after you come to Shanghai City with me." Zhao Bangde didn't say much. Wang Shuo asked Ayub to return to the territory with the army, and he followed Zhao Bangde to Shanghai City. Ye Tianba wanted to follow and protect Wang Shuo, but was rejected by Wang Shuo. Wang Shuo didn't believe that Zhao Bangde would harm him. Moreover, he also had a resurrection coin, so he didn't have to worry about safety issues at all. Came to Zhao Bangde's mansion. Zhao Bangde dismissed his left and right, and only he and Wang Shuo were left in the living room. "Alliance Master Zhao." Before Wang Shuo finished speaking, Zhao Bangde interrupted directly and said, "You should call me Lao Zhao." Hearing Zhao Bangde say this, Wang Shuo felt warm in his heart. Wang Shuo smiled and said, "Lao Zhao. Well, that's right. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Lord Survival, My Shelter in Crocodile Territory. Author, Chi Wen. Chapter 340. I asked you to come here this time because we haven't talked for a long time. We have been fighting wars recently and I can't relax at all. Secondly, I want to hear your ideas about the future. Wang Shuo was stunned. There is no room for 2 tigers in one mountain. If Zhao Bangde is determined to establish a hegemony in the Wei territory, then he and him are in conflict in fundamental interests. Wang Shuo was silent for a while, then smiled and said, "Old Zhao, didn't you say before that you were going to find Ban Ki?" Sure enough, when Wang Shuo mentioned this name, old Zhao's face showed a trace of attachment. He sighed and shook his head. When I was still a tool man, I persisted completely with this belief. Every mission must achieve perfect evaluation to get the current situation. But after I really got free, I realized that my belief was just a flower in the water and a moon in the mirror. Now, thousands of years have passed, I'm afraid she is no longer alive. Wang Shuo's heart was also a little heavy. How long is the lifespan of people in this world? For someone like the Black Dragon King, he has lived for at least 1,000 years. Even someone like Lord Zack may have an infinite lifespan. Everything depends on human effort. There is always a wish, Wang Shuo comforted. Yes, I have to live well this time. Only by living can I have hope. Wang Shuo also agreed. Zhao Bang took a sip of tea and moistened his throat. Along the way, I also know that you are not willing to be inferior to others. There are not many people in the hold-away area who can catch my eye. You are one of them, and our relationship is the closest. So, I hope we can join forces, lay a foundation, and support each other. As he said, Zhao Bang held Wang Shuo's hand, and his eyes showed true feelings. Wang Shuo nodded heavily. Then, Zhao Bang handed Wang Shuo a gilded book. Wang Shuo took the book in confusion and looked at Zhao Bang. Zhao Bang nodded and motioned him to open it. After opening it, it was written in the language of the North Sea Empire, "Invitation to the Shura General Tower." Shura General Tower. What is this place? Zhao Bang explained, this is the Xinwu Empire, a place where countless cultivation geniuses dream of entering. This place is full of killing, blood, and wisdom. All the generals who can walk out of the tower are famous generals in the world, famous and influential. But the death rate here is also very high. Do you dare to go and fight? Why not? When Wang Shuo came to this place, his bloodiness had been aroused. If life cannot be lived vigorously, what is the meaning? Instead of dying old and full of regrets, it is better to bravely break through when you are young. Even if you die halfway, at least you have fought in your life and will not regret it. Okay, I was right about you. This is the reward I got for defeating the Black Dragon King. The most suitable rank for entering the Shura General Tower is the top-level general. Although you are a high-level general, your combat power is not weak. You are fully capable of competing with those geniuses. There are a lot of opportunities in the Shura Tower. The most important thing is that you can break through the ranks in a life and death fight. This kind of breakthrough is more powerful than using a job transfer certificate. And, as far as I know, there is no job transfer certificate for a breakthrough general. Wang Shuo thought for a while and asked, after entering the Shura Tower, how long does it take to get out of the Shura Tower? Lord Survival, My Shelter in Crocodile Territory. Author, Qi Wen. Chapter 341. I don't know about that. Some people died directly in it, some people could not get out of it for their whole life, and some people got out of it in 3 to 5 months. The opportunity was right in front of him. Wang Shuo gritted his teeth and went. After a little thought, Wang Shuo gave Zhao Bang the outline of the Xinwu Empire, and told his guess. Zhao Bang showed a solemn look. So we are on the edge of the Xinwu Empire, he frowned. It just so happens that Shura Tower is also a place that students from various colleges in the Xinwu Empire like to challenge the most. At that time, you can just meet countless geniuses of the Xinwu Empire. Before leaving, Zhao Bang handed Wang Shuo a county-level town heart, as well as various materials for upgrading the county. Don't worry, before you come back, as long as I am still here, your Wana town will be safe and sound. The two chatted for a while, and Wang Shuo said goodbye to Zhao Bang and left Shanghai City. Wana town. After Wang Shuo returned to the territory, he immediately checked the conditions for upgrading the county. A third-level town is needed. Wang Shuo had long asked Duan Wengzi to continuously transfer the population of Changping County to Wana Town, and now there are more than 100,000 people. All the conditions for upgrading are already in place, and Wang Shuo directly chose to upgrade. Wana Town is upgraded to a second-level town. Wana Town is upgraded to a third-level town. Wana Town is upgraded to a county town. System announcement: Wang Shuo, the Lord of Wana Town, has upgraded his territory to a county town. This is hereby announced. The system announcement finally appeared for upgrading the county town. Countless fans of Wang Shuo were very excited. At this time, Wang Shuo still had a very high reputation in Changping County. Since you are the first player to upgrade the county town, you will be rewarded with add 2000 Wana County reputation and territory attribute, martial spirit. Martial spirit: the upgrade experience of the territory's people is reduced by 10%, and the speed of practicing martial arts is increased by 10%. Wang Shuo checked the territory attributes. Territory attributes. Territory: Wana County, primary county. Lord: Wang Shuo. Territory attributes: popular support, outstanding people, martial spirit. Territory reputation: 3000, famous far and wide. Area: 20 kilometers in radius. Population: 120,000. Popularity: 86, average. Buildings. Military. Auspicious beast in the territory, koi, juvenile. Upgrade conditions: upgrade to a second-level county requires a population of 150,000, popular support of 85, and a gold energy converter. Buildings: Lord's Mansion, residential buildings, teleportation array. Wang Shuo called all the high-level officials of Wana County to the meeting hall of the Lord's Mansion. He held a regular meeting. After inquiring about the situation of each department, deciding on some major policies, and handling government affairs, Wang Shuo announced that the territory would hold a banquet in the evening to let everyone relax. Then some core personnel of the territory stayed behind. Next, I have an important announcement to make, Wang Shuo said seriously. Chang Gui stood up and turned his wooden head. My lord, I have specially divined for you today. Wang Shuo was uneasy. Although he did not believe in these things, he was still a little upset when someone predicted his fate. What is it about? Travel far away. When Chang Gui said these two words, Wang Shuo suddenly felt nervous. Chang Gui was about to say it. Wang Shuo stopped him. No need to say it. Life is interesting because the future is unknown, isn't it? Wang Shuo was also afraid that once he knew the result, it would affect his Tao heart. It's better not to know. Lord Survival, My Shelter in Crocodile Territory. Author, Qi Wen. Chapter 342. Lord, you are right. I am not as good as you. Chang Gui's wooden head turned around, as if it was out of control. The boss is right. Even if you are sure of success, you may still fail. On the contrary, if you know that something is impossible, do we give up? What a bullshit fate. If you don't push yourself, you may never know that you are so good. Seeing that everyone is so determined, Wang Shuo was deeply moved. So many days have passed. Except for those who are very lucky, those who can survive until now are basically resolute and courageous. Wang Shuo told a few people about the Shura War Tower. Tell them to keep it secret. If someone really asks, just claim that you are going to explore the secret realm. When he is not in the territory, Duan Wengzi decides on internal affairs and Ayub is in charge of military affairs. He also handed over another legion order to Ayub and asked him to start forming the second legion in the territory. After I leave, gather our main forces to Wana County. At the critical moment, we can give up Nanshanji and Changping County. If we encounter an unexpected accident, we can ask Zhao Junzhao for help. Yes, Lord, boss. After arranging the affairs of the territory, Wang Shuo fasted and bathed, and thought about every aspect of the whole thing several times. The next morning, he came to the back garden, fed the koi, and collected the water of life. He went to the material exchange office in the central square, exchanged some tools, and transferred the authority to Duan Wengzi. Wang Shuo called Duan Wengzi and Ayub to the Lord's mansion, and then prepared to enter the Shura War General Tower. Take out the invitation letter and choose to use it. The system prompt sounded. Warning, you are about to leave the Wei territory. Warning, you are about to leave the Wei territory. The alarm sounded. The voice of Lord Zak sounded in his mind. Little guy, are you ready? Entering there is a life or death situation. Wang Shuo took a deep breath and said in a deep voice, ready. In the unknown space, Lord Zak nodded and showed an approving look. Okay, in that case, I'll take you there. In the hall of the Lord's mansion, many supplies prepared by Wang Shuo were scattered all over the ground. I don't know how long it took, Wang Shuo woke up in a strange square with a dizzy head. The white jade square is not big, only more than 10 square meters, surrounded by a white energy shield. One of the white round stone pillars is particularly conspicuous. After Wang Shuo touched it with his hand, a lot of information immediately appeared in his mind. I understand that this place is a small safe zone in the wild. Newcomers who have just entered usually appear in this kind of safe zone. Fighting is strictly prohibited within the white energy shield, otherwise both parties will be attacked by the energy shield. There are 4 floors in Shura Tower. This is the first floor of Shura Tower. In the first floor, there is also a neutral town called Yingying Town, where fighting is also not allowed. There is only one way to enter the second floor. That is to collect 100 Shura orders, and then summon the passage to pass through the level. As long as you defeat the guards guarding the passage, you can enter the second floor. As for the 99 Shura orders, they will naturally be snatched from other people. Here, it can be said that any creature is your enemy. Wang Shuo immediately opened his backpack and found a token with the 3 words Shura Order written on it. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Lord Survival, My Shelter in Crocodile Territory. Author, Qi Wen. Chapter 343. But at the same time, Wang Shuo was surprised to find that there was only a weeping blood gun and 30 drops left in his backpack. Drops of water of life and a resurrection coin. Wang Shuo learned through the stone pillar that for the sake of fairness, no other things were allowed to be brought into this place. Could it be? Wang Shuo thought for a while, these things must have been brought in by Mr. Zak with his help. In this dangerous place, without weapons and equipment, it would simply cost lives. Being able to have weapons and equipment, as well as these 2 life-saving things, will undoubtedly greatly increase the chance of survival. Wang Shuo secretly said thank you to Lord Zak. After cheering up, Wang Shuo carefully observed the situation outside. Beyond the mask of light is a dense jungle. There was no sun in the sky, but the surroundings did not appear dark. It's just that in the dense forest, the ancient trees are towering, which is very suitable for hiding an ambush. Wang Shuo observed for a long time and found no hidden danger. Only then did he step out of the safe zone, looking in all directions and listening in all directions. He held the weeping blood gun in his hand and was very vigilant. But not long after walking, if nothing unexpected happened, the accident happened. A short arrow was shot from a high place. Fortunately, Wang Shuo was on high alert and discovered it in time. He immediately blocked it with his spear, but unfortunately, he didn't block it. Fortunately, the short arrow hit the armor and caused a spark, but did not cause any harm to Wang Shuo. Who? It was quiet and there was no other sound. It seems like someone just set a trap here. Wang Shuo looked at his surroundings again. Surrounded by broad-leaved forests, with thick fallen leaves beneath his feet, Wang Shuo groped forward carefully. After walking for a while, Wang Shuo found a mechanism that had not been triggered yet. Wang Shuo came to the tree and saw the lead and mechanism. This trap only uses common materials in the woods. It is very concealed. However, the arrow is made of metal, which may have been quenched with poison. Wang Shuo put away the 2 short arrows that might be poisoned. Then he climbed up a big tree and prepared to observe the forest. On the top of the tree tops, Wang Shuo saw a huge black light door at the edge of the forest. After thinking about it, he decided to go see what it was. After walking for a while, there was the sound of fighting ahead. Wang Shuo immediately hid his figure and slowly approached. The 2 warring parties were a masked swordsman in black and a strong man holding a giant hammer. The strong man was wrapped in a white striped tiger skin, with his left shoulder exposed. His hair was somewhat long and spread over his shoulders in strands. It looked like he hadn't washed his hair for a long time. Wang Shuo used his investigative eyes to take a look. Both are high-ranking military commanders. The battle is quite dangerous and every move is deadly. The black-clothed swordsman chopped Huashan with one move, leaped into the air, suddenly drew out his sword, and took the head of the strong man with the giant hammer. But the strong man with the giant hammer did not panic. He raised the hammer with his right hand to block it, and the giant hammer with his left hand went up from bottom to top and directly hit the chest of the man in black. From a distance, Wang Shuo seemed to hear the sound of bones breaking. Sure enough, the man in black flew out and fell to the ground, vomiting blood from his mouth. It looked like he would not survive. Wang Shuo felt pain just looking at it. Just when the strong man with the giant hammer was sure of victory, he walked over and wanted to kill his opponent with one hammer. He suddenly stopped what he was doing and took a step sideways, as if to avoid something. Wang Shuo was wondering, could this guy have a brain problem? A short arrow flew over from a distance. Wang Shuo felt like shit. There are actually people hiding in the dark who want to take advantage of the situation. Seeing that the sneak attack failed, the ambush person appeared. Who am I talking about? It turns out to be the sneaky Kotaro. The strong man with the giant hammer laughed loudly, and the 2 of them seemed to be at odds. Lord Survival, My Shelter in Crocodile Territory. Author, Chi Wen. Chapter 344. Humph, Shane, today is your death day. Kotaro gnashed his teeth and said viciously. A kid who hasn't even grown all his hair yet dares to speak so arrogantly. Shane, the giant hammer man, laughed nonchalantly, not taking Kotaro seriously at all. He even put a giant hammer on the ground, took out another wine pot, and pretended to drink. This action directly angered Kotaro. Shane's purpose was obvious, which was to anger his opponent and lure Kotaro to attack. Shane's physical strength was still consumed after a series of battles, especially when he used heavy weapons. He was thinking about it. The opponent would definitely think that he was exhausted after the battle and wanted to delay time to recover his physical strength and internal strength. But Shane did the opposite and wanted to make a quick decision. Kotaro swung his samurai sword and rushed up quickly. Shane smiled, and the wine pot in his hand was not filled with wine at all, but a hidden weapon. He pointed the mouth of the wine pot at Kotaro, triggered the mechanism, and hundreds of needles flew out in the blink of an eye. Kotaro was accelerating and collided with the dense flying needles head-on. Although he tried his best to swing the samurai sword, he was still stabbed by countless flying needles, especially on his face. Ah! Kotaro screamed. His face immediately began to corrode. Seeing this, Xian did not hesitate to raise his hammer and was about to kill his opponent. Kotaro had no choice but to run for his life. Not long after running, something strange happened. Xian was covered by a big net and could not break free in a short time. What's more amazing is that the black-clothed man who fell to the ground actually stood up and looked at the two of them. Then he ran away. Are they all so cunning? This battle opened Wang Shuo's eyes. These people are not easy to deal with. They all used the common language of the North Sea Empire, and Wang Shuo could still barely understand it. Coincidentally, the direction that the man in black fled was actually where Wang Shuo was hiding. Wang Shuo was a little suspicious. Did this guy find him? I just want to watch the show, I don't want to end it. Do I have to be the Oriole this time? Wang Shuo thought to himself, if you really pass by me, don't blame me for being rude. As expected. The man in black didn't think too much and rushed over directly. He was seriously injured, and he just held on just now, not wanting the other party to notice it. If one of the two people wins, he will definitely come to chase him. His sternum was broken, his internal organs were damaged, and he was already a little dizzy. When he was less than 5 meters away from Wang Shuo used a move of iron chain binding and a move of dragon transformation attack. He was killed instantly. Wang Shuo noticed at this time that there were no digitized numbers in this operation. Naturally, there was no killing prompt. Wang Shuo did not hesitate and went straight forward to pick up the spoils. 2 pieces of Shura order and a long sword were searched from him. Poor bastard. Wang Shuo's action directly alarmed Xiao Taro and Xia En in the distance. Xiao Taro immediately stabbed Xia En with a samurai sword, trying to end the battle as soon as possible. With a puff, the long sword pierced Xia En's body. There was no accident this time. Xia En was killed, and the things on his body were also obtained by Xiao Taro. Wang Shuo rushed over quickly. Hey, why don't you have martial ethics and take advantage of others' misfortune? At this time, Xiaotaro's face was severely corroded, and there were double images in his eyes. Wang Shuo was shocked in his heart. He was really famous for his double standards. No nonsense, after all, the opponent was also a high-level general. Wang Shuo was still quite careful. Wang Shuo directly summoned a swamp under the opponent's feet, and then used control skills to lock it. This set of operations is really useful.